What is up, y'all? It's Brian back again with Crush Cards. So last night I was going through some bulk, just listed some stuff on TCGplayer, which if you're looking for any cards for yourself, feel free. The link is in the description box below. Go check out our store. We got a bunch of these cards online right now. It's a really cheap, friendly budget option. I think it's a really good rogue option. This is one of the decks that helped me start playing again. It's one of the first combo decks that I ever learned. I think it's really easy. It's got a simple goal. Basically just turn 2 Borrelsword OTK. So last night going through some bulk, I came across this card and I just read it and I was like, wow, this is actually kind of what the deck needed. So I figured I'd just go through, rebuild the deck, and kind of see what comes of it. This is what I got. Starting off with the boss monsters, I played triple Raphael, champion for hire. All the for hire monsters, they have relatively the same effects. The big ones, when they're special summoned, they get an effect, and the little ones allow you to special summon from hand. But this card says, this card is special summon. You can excavate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of monsters for hire you control with different names, except for this card. And if you do, add one of them to your hand, also shuffle the rest back into the deck. And then a secondary effect is when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you could discard one for hire card, negate the activation. You can only use each of these once per turn. So what I like about this is it's a for hire card. It's not just a monster for hire. So this kind of functions as an effect negation. It's a 2800 beater, and it also just adds cards from your deck to your hand. The only other boss monster I play is Dinah, hero for hire. Dinah is only good right now, I think, because of the current meta. And the reason that this card is good is because its effect reads, if this card is special summoned, you could banish cards from your opponent's graveyard up to the number of monsters for hire you control with different names. This is really good against Orcus, which is the main reason I'm playing it right now, because you can just banish all their combo pieces. It's really good against Sky Striker to get some spells out of their graveyard. Against Salad, you can just get rid of their combo pieces also and stop the recursion process. And a lot of rogue decks function around the graveyard too, so this just comes in handy. And then its second effect, that monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for hire you control for attacks except this one. So it's a nice 2500 wall. For your little guys, you start off with Beat, Bladesman for hire. He's easily the best little one. All the little ones have the same exact effect, which is they can special summon one for hire monster from your hand, and then once the summon is successful, they all gain additional effects. So Beat is, if a monster for hire is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can add one for hire monster from your deck to your hand. So he's basically your Rhoda for the entire archetype. Next, I play 3 Bravo, fighter for hire. Bravo's good mid, a late combo, or even late game. If a monster for hire is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can have all monsters for hire you currently control on the field gain 500 attack and defense until the end of the turn. Next, we play another key card in the deck, 3 Dampa, marksman for hire. With Dampa, whenever a for hire monster is special summoned, you could target and then pop a face-up card on the field. So that's really good disruption, and it also helps with your main boss monster in your extra deck. I chose to play 2 Recon, scout for hire. Recon is the same thing as Dampa. Whenever a monster for hire is special summoned to your field, this just pops a set card instead. I play 2 Helmer. This is, in my opinion, probably the worst one in the deck, but you still have to play it too because it helps you dig, and it's also just another name. It's another body on board. What Helmer does is whenever a monster for hire is special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can discard one for hire card and then draw one. So because you play multiples of a lot of things in your deck, if you open up 2 cards and you have this, you can just try to unbrick your hand and dig deeper for things that you need. I also play 2 Seal, strategist for hire. So what Seal does is whenever a for hire monster is special summoned to your field, you can add a card from your graveyard to your hand. And then on to Philo. Philo is the card that I found last night that I think is really interesting. So whenever a for hire monster is special summoned while you control this, it's basically Monster Reborn from your graveyard. So it's a +1, which is really what this deck needed. This card just allows the deck to extend so much more, which really stinks because this is a rare and everything else is a nice hollow upgrade. So I really wish that they would give this a nice rarity bump. And then you play a small 3-card engine. You are going second, so it was either Pankratops or this. But I think Cyber Dragon is just so much more important because you could special summon this and then you just go straight into your Mega Fleet Dragon, clear a card off your opponent's field, and you haven't even committed to your normal summons. It also just offers you a machine on board, which is the type that none of your other cards are. And then for hand traps, I just played the 2 Ash and the 2 Valor. You don't need to play these. I just had kind of 4 awkward slots in the deck, and I figured hand traps were the best because you are going to try to stop your opponent. Because even though this deck does break boards, you're not trying to break through 9 cards. So if you can stop your opponent from getting somewhere, these cards will definitely help you get there. You can choose to play Impermanence over Effect Veiler. I honestly just had Effect Veiler sitting in front of me last night, so I just grabbed it. But I do think Impermanence would be a stronger bet. You are relatively a combo deck, so you do want to make sure that all your plays resolve, so you just play the 3 Called by the Grave. I also played probably one of the best extenders in the entire game right now, and that's 3 Instant Fusion. You can go into your Thousand Eyes Restrict and take one of your opponent's cards, bait some to gates, or you can go to your Millennium Eyes Restrict if you don't have Called by the Grave to try to ensure that all your plays go through. So 3 of this card is definitely a must-have. And then because you play 3 O's of a lot of things, and you do want to see all the cards that you need in your hand as much as possible, we played 2 Pot of Desires. Card says draw 2. I think when Konami made this card, they honestly intended it for this deck. Pinpoint Landing says, if exactly one monster is special summoned from the hand to your field, you could draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Pinpoint Landing once per turn during your end phase. If you have not drawn a card by this effect this turn, send this card to the graveyard. All your for hire monsters special summon themselves from the hand, so as soon as you special summon one, you instantly just +1 off of this card. And then I just play the in archetype and the out of archetype 2 monster Reborn. That's it for the deck. It's 40 card count. I think it's really solid. The deck is basically just Boral Sword Turbo, so it does what it has to do. For the extra deck, I play the 1 Link Karibo. This is just in case you open Instant Fusion and Cyber Dragon. You can still go off. You can clear 2 cards. You have a down arrow. You can put your Mega Fleet underneath it, and you haven't even committed to your normal summon yet. So this is just an extender if you open that 2 card combo. It's better to have it than not to have it. I play the 1 Underclock Taker just in case you can't get to your win condition. This still allows you to put massive amount of damage on board. I play the 1 Hida because a lot of decks right now play fire, and 3 of your cards in your main deck are fire. You will always see them turn 1 or 2, and this card just allows you to +1 in Link Climb. So this card's amazing. Generic Nightmare package, Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn, spot removal. And then your boss monster in archetype is Falgo Justice for Hire. This card is insane. This card requires 3 monsters with different types. All of your for hire monsters are different types and different attributes, so this card is so easy to make. Also good to note that it's not 3 monsters for hire with different types, it's literally just 3 monsters. So if you have Link Karibo, your Mega Fleet, and 1 for hire card, you can go straight into this. Only restriction is that it cannot be used as Link material. This card says that you could special summon 1 monster for hire with different types than the 3 monsters used for this card's Link summon from your deck in defense position. If a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw 1 card. And then if you control 3 or more monsters for hire with different names, draw 2 additional cards. This is a +3 every single turn. For your Link Force, I play the 1 Mech Knight Crusadia Abermax. I play the 1 Appaloosa for going first, and then of course we play our win condition, which is just Boral Sword. For our instant fusion targets, the 1000 Eyes to go second, and then the 1 Millennium Eyes to go first. You're typically going to go into this more often and then just link it away with Link Karibo. It's just an interruption, and this is just to ensure that all your plays go through. And then for Cyber Dragon, we do play the 1 Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. This card is insane. It's just 1 Cyber Dragon in any card in the extra monster zone. It could be yours or your opponent's. You could just contact fuse into this and clear a card for free. So broken. And then the last card that I play is the number 60 Dragaris Timeless. So the only reason that you really would go into this is it's 2 level 4 monsters. You just overlay, and then you detach 2 monsters. You skip your next battle phase, but then you double the attack of 1 monster you control until the end of the turn. This card just allows you to push for as much damage as possible. Side deck's real random, but all your cards are different types, so this doesn't hurt you, but it hurts a lot of decks right now in the meta. So just there can be only one. Going first, this card is really good because your deck is built to go second. So once your opponent figures that out, they're going to try to make you go first, and this will just slow them down. So I think this is probably the best card in the side. Also, for going first, your opponent's probably going to side in a lot of hand traps. This is not the best card choice, but just an idea I had. If they stop you and you open this, you could just summon another card and continue to play on. So this allows you to play through hand traps going first, which I think is something that this deck does not do well. Gotta respect the back row, so we play 3 Twin Twister, of course, 3 Super Poly, just to clear boards, the 1 Starving Venom, and then the 1 Predaplant Dragostapelio. And then going into game 3, just in case you need it for time, it's unfortunate, but I do play the in archetype Burn. So what Sagitta does is when this card is special summoned, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster for hire you control with different names, except this card. If you manage to get 4 cards on field and then special summon this from your hand, you're burning them for 2k. So just to show how consistent this deck can be, by obtaining its win condition, which is just going second, breaking a board, and then OTKing your opponent, we're gonna shuffle real quick, offer our opponent to cut. We're gonna blind second. So we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then going second, we will get our 6th card. So we will probably use Ash our first turn. So we're gonna start our first turn with 5 in hand, which is fine. So we're gonna activate our instant fusion, paying 1000. We're going to grab our 1000 Eyes Restrict, which will then provide us with 1 interruption already, taking 1 of their cards. Then we're going to normal summon our Beat, and then before we activate Beat, we're gonna activate our Pinpoint Landing, then activate Beat to special summon our Helmer, which will trigger Beat, adding a card from our deck to our hand. My typical target off of this, if I don't have it, is Dampa, because Dampa, when it pops a card, will get you the 3 off of Falgo. So we'll just cut. And then we have an Aqua, a Warrior, and a Spellcaster. So we're going to go into Falgo, and then we will attempt to activate Falgo's effect, getting us our Philo. Philo will then activate special summoning Dampa, which will trigger Philo, getting back our Helmer. We have not used the Helmer effect yet, but we don't really need it. We will then activate Dampa to special summon our Bravo over here, which will then trigger Dampa to pop a 2nd card. The popping off of Dampa will then trigger Falgo to draw 1, but then we have 3 additional names, so So we will draw 2, 3, just for fun. We'll activate Pot of Desires, banishing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, just to draw an additional 2. It does not matter. I never even look at these cards. Our 2 additional cards are Raphael and Bravo. Then we will use our last remaining summon to special summon our Bravo, and then we will link 1, 2, 3, and 4 into our Boral Sword. So right now, we have ended our second turn with Boral Sword on field. Raphael will offer us a monster negate, and then Falgo is at 24. So we have 3, 6, 24, and 28. Also, just a huge shout out to CardBoredGaming for these amazing custom field centers. If you guys are looking for any custom field centers or custom tokens, definitely hit him up. His Facebook and his Etsy will be in the description box below. So that pretty much does it for the deck profile. If you guys want any of these cards, the majority of them are up on our TCGplayer link, which is in the description box below. Go check it out. We also have an Instagram account that we just started, so go check that out too. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And yeah, just thanks for hanging out. I think this is a really fun deck. I think it's definitely a good beginner's deck. It's a good intro to combo. Good luck, have fun, and see you in the next one.